Hey guys, so it's been a minute since we did a best iPad accessories video. You know, I'm always on the lookout for some great accessories to make these awesome devices even better. I think I have a really good list for you today. Let's ramble.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants.
Alright, so let's start with one of the most essential accessories for any iPad, and that is a good charging solution. A brand called Aoi has sent me a set of two products to review. One is a high-speed, high-capacity power bank, and the other is what they call their racing cable set, and I'll show you why they call it that in a minute. Now, if you're an OG to the channel, you've probably heard me mention this brand before. I love using their stuff, and apparently so do you, because the last time I shared another one of their really innovative cable sets, the video got over 280k views, which is quite a lot for my channel, especially on a video for a single product. Anyway, they sent me some of their latest products to review, and once again, I'm really impressed. This futuristic looking power bank is called the Future Starship, and it's a 140 watt power delivery beast with a whopping 40,000 milliamp hour battery capacity, and according to Aoi, this is the world's most powerful 2-in-1 power bank. Now, what makes it a 2-in-1 power bank is the fact that it serves as a portable battery as well as a desktop charging solution, which means you can keep it plugged into the mains at your desk, where it can charge multiple devices at once at 140 watts using 3 USB-C and 1 USB-A port. Normally, I wouldn't feel too great about leaving a battery plugged in 24/7, but what makes this thing stand out from your average battery bank is that the independent circuit design ensures that the current does not pass through the battery in desktop charging mode, protecting the battery life. When the output power demand is lower than the input power demand, the Starship will allocate the additional power input to the power bank and recharge itself. As a travel battery, it's an absolute beast as well. It can even charge my MacBook Pro from completely dead to completely full, and the PD 3.1 fast charging protocol makes sure that this happens nice and quickly. It charges my MacBook more than half full in just 30 minutes, which is actually faster than the original charger. Plus, it's got this color LED display where it can keep track of how much power is flowing into each individual device, as well as how much juice is left in the battery. Now, to get the most out of a powerhouse like this, you obviously need some adequate cables, which is why I want to show you their racing cable set as well. I don't like bringing a whole bunch of cables with me when I travel, especially if it's just a day trip, so I really appreciate when brands spend time coming up with these solutions. This is a super clean looking set of 2 ultra high speed cables and 1 extension cord that lets you mix and match to suit whatever your needs are. And since Apple finally ditched the lightning cable, this little set is literally all I need. The 2 small cables are a USB-A to USB-C and a USB-C to USB-C, and as you can see, it's very high quality and they're extremely flexible. Same goes for the extension cable, which is covered in this nice and thick rubber while still staying very flexible. But now for the power part. These cables can actually handle an 8K display, 240 watts of power delivery, which is more than enough needed for that battery I just showed you, and it can throughput 40 gigabits per second, hence the name racing cable. Okay, I just totally made that up, but that's probably why, isn't it? A little side note, if you are using the USB-C to USB-A cable, of course you're going to be limited to the limitations of that port, which means a maximum throughput of about 10 gigabits per second, but over USB-C, we are flying. Comes with a little pouch, which can be useful if you want to toss these cables in a backpack. Personally, I just stick them in my tech pouch like this, along with some of the other stuff I like to take. If you want to pick these cables up for yourself, there will be links in the description, as well as, of course, for the other products mentioned in this video. Right, moving on to the next accessories, and I'm just gonna briefly touch upon them because you already know what they are, but they're too crucial not to mention. The first one, of course, being the Magic Keyboard. I do not think that the iPad Pro is complete without it. The iPad mini is perfect as it is, but to use the iPad Pro to its full potential, you really need to add that Magic Keyboard. I'm using a white one after many years of the black Magic Keyboard because I love how clean it looks, and because strangely it stays much cleaner than the black one, which was an absolute smudge magnet. I hated that about it. This one, even though it's white, stays clean much better, and that's a big plus for me. The second essential is the Apple Magic Pencil. Now, unlike the Magic Keyboard, I do not believe everybody needs one of these. It makes sense mostly if you're an artist or if you like to take handwritten notes on the iPad like I do. And of course, I cannot pass up this perfect moment for a segue to our channel partner Paperlike, which for me personally is every bit as essential as a Magic Keyboard and the Apple Pencil. It prevents smudges and fingerprints, which my OCD very much appreciates, and most importantly, of course, it makes writing and drawing on the iPad a much more pleasant experience, as it mimics the feeling of writing on actual paper as opposed to the slippery glass surface. I really don't need my already terrible handwriting to look even worse, so this is great stuff for me. And the best part is that over the years, the good folks at Paperlike have been able to get rid of the grain almost entirely, so you can still enjoy that beautiful crispy display on the iPad Pro. The screen protectors always come in twos, so even if you mess up applying the thing, you can just go ahead and grab a new one. Now, I'm not one of those people that babies their iPads. They do get tossed around quite a bit here in the studio, as well as my bags, so I like to protect the front, but also the back. I've always used one of these yellow skins by Dbrand for all my iPads, which was called the Bulletproof Banana, but for some reason they stopped making it. I have no idea why, because the single most asked questions, I kid you not, in my comment section is, where did you get that yellow skin? Anyway, since they no longer make it, I decided to try out a different design, and I'm actually really happy how it turned out. They're reasonably easy to apply, and I just love that I don't have to worry about scratches all the time. I'm in no way affiliated with Dbrand, by the way. I paid for these with my own money. They're not cheap at all, but they are by far the best skins I've ever used, and even after years of use, these still look great. And when you're ready to sell your iPad, you just peel it off, and what you're left with is an iPad that looks brand spanking new. Now, if you're not a Magic Keyboard person, or you like using your iPad in a desktop setup, a nice compact keyboard is the way to go. I really like the ones made by Newfie. I think it's pronounced Newfie, or at least that's what it says on the dust cover that comes with this Air 75 V2 keyboard. They sent me some of their new models for review sometimes, and I've yet to find one that I don't like. I enjoy mechanical keyboards, but I'm not into the whole custom building thing. I don't know what switches I use, and I only use lube at home, which is why I appreciate that these come pre-built and ready to use. You can customize them if you want, but for me, they're fine right out of the box. They can be used with Windows and Mac computers. There's even a dedicated switch on top for Windows and Mac, as well as a switch for using it as a Bluetooth keyboard versus a cabled one. And my favorite feature is that you can switch between 3 different devices, so I can use it with my MacBook, and by pressing Function and 2, I can just switch to the iPad like that. And let's not forget about the ultra satisfying typing sound. The 75% size is also perfect, making it nice and compact to go with the iPad without interfering with the typing experience. I do prefer using a Magic Trackpad over a mouse because the iPad is a touch and swipe kind of deal, even when you use it in a desktop setting, so it's much easier to use a touchpad that mimics those movements rather than a mouse. If you're wondering about the stand, by the way, this is from Charge & Pro. They did come out with a newer one, which is height adjustable, but I really still like this one, mainly because it kind of makes the iPad look like a miniature Apple Studio display. Next up are these 2 SSD drives by Samsung. This is the T7 Shield, which is nice and rugged and a very budget-friendly option. The other one, the T9, which is my current favorite, is a bit on the pricey side, but it has a massive 4TB capacity and it is blazing fast. So I can use it between my iPad and my Mac, which is very useful to me, especially since I mainly use it to store large video projects. We all know that the prices Apple charges for internal storage are absolute robbery, so these drives offer a nice solution whereby you can just get the internal storage you absolutely need and keep everything else on these things, which is not only much cheaper, but you can use them for other devices as well. Now, to carry around my iPad Pro, I currently have 2 favorite but very different options. One is this very elegant leather sleeve by Harbour London. You already know I love their stuff. It is definitely not cheap, but when you touch the leather, you will immediately feel why they're a little bit on the expensive side. The zippers are of really high quality, and the insides are always lined with this protective wool. I like this one in particular because it's not a snug fit. It leaves some room for other stuff, as well as this dedicated space for the Apple Pencil that I really appreciate, so that I don't have to worry about losing it. Now, for the more rugged trips or when I need to bring some extra stuff, I like this bag right here. It has that rugged look, and you can just tell that it's high quality. It's made from this very strong canvas, and all the accents are leather. It does come with a strap, which can be useful when you're on the move and you need your hands free. But the real reason I wanted to show this bag in a video is because of the brand name. Nutsack. How often do you get to say nutsack in a video and not get canceled? Hey, I can't help it, YouTube. That just happens to be the brand's name. Nutsack. 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 Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. It really does help the channel. Subscribe for more content like this. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.